Hey everyone, today I wanted to zoom out a little bit and talk about Bitcoin and show you guys some of these larger support and resistance levels that we're going to need to break through if we want to see us go back up towards 35,000, 40,000, or some of those extreme numbers that are currently being, projected out there by a lot of people, okay? Now, you guys can see all the way back over here in 2021, the golden years for Bitcoin, if I do say so myself. You can see we had that support level over here of around 28,763. At this point, this really does seem to be that level that we're trying to break above, and we're trying to hold above it more importantly. If we go back over here a little bit, later in time, back in May of 2022, you guys can see that we were barely holding on here. There was a little bit of support, but what really ended up breaking us down was actually a breakdown of different exchanges out there like Celsius, BlockFi, you name it. There was a crisis going on. But now that we've been through a lot of pain here and we're looking at a whole bunch of stuff as far as inflation, the economic standards of the country right now, which are kind of in a slump, you guys can see that we are trying to break back above that $29,000 level and hold above it. Even yesterday here, we managed to have another new high for the year, but we eventually, as always, got knocked back down. That's not a terrible thing. You guys can see this is a very large resistance level, and if we manage to break out above it, we're probably going to be shooting anywhere from $30,000 to $32,000, maybe even a little bit up here towards the SR right there, around 32.5. But at this point, guys, this is what I think is happening, because we all know that the economy isn't necessarily doing as good as we might like it to be, and there is some issues with the banks. But I think, as I do more research on this, here's what I think is going on. And we've talked about this plenty in the past, but basically the BRICS countries, they've been making a lot of moves over the last few weeks. And I think this has been something that has been talked about on the news a little bit, but the devastation that this can cause to the American economy and the dollar is really what's not being talked about so much, right? So if you guys don't know, the BRICS alliance is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And they're working on creating their own currency. Now, people are getting more and more fed up with the United States. I think it's basically our sense of righteousness when we have a lot of problems here back at home, right? And so I think there's been a big attack on the dollar, and I feel if we go over here and look at the monthly chart, I feel like over the next few years here, mostly like the next few months, we may see an acceleration if we decide to break down below the 20 moving average here on the monthly chart. And that'll really signal us coming back down from these rapid highs that we experienced due to the transitory inflation that everybody was talking about. And that could actually bring us back down here to a normalized levels, relative normalized, between 88 bucks and I would say 100 bucks. Getting back down here is going to give a big boost to the overall crypto markets and overall to the stock market. As much as I want to believe that Bitcoin is just going to soar, from here on out, I am still hesitant because I still believe that Bitcoin overall will follow the NASDAQ. I'm a big proponent in that. And if I get all these drawings out of the way, we're currently running up into that 20-month moving average. We might be able to break above it. Everything is kind of giddy and happy right now, but I do think eventually we are going to be coming back down, having these death crosses occur, which you guys can see are about to happen, I would say, sometime mid-April. That's not going to be a good thing, and I would suspect by the end of April or maybe the middle of May, perhaps, I do think we would have tapped back down here below $12,000 for the NASDAQ, and there would have been some type of minor scare here. I don't know what that scare is going to be just yet because everybody is still hoping that we rally up after we had no more rate hikes, or at least that's the perceived nature, okay? Now, going back to Bitcoin here, if we go back over here to the weekly chart, let me get out of that very fast for you guys. There we go. You guys can see we are trying to break out, but the next level of resistance, if you guys aren't considering some of these levels right here, it really just happens to be right around here from 32,420 up to this level of resistance we had over here to about 33,157. If you guys are going to go long and play with this, I would say that's your current target price right in there. That's a pretty good goal. You guys aren't going to be losing much money if you guys make it, right? That's about 13%. That'd be amazing. Am I going to be trading this too much? Not really, guys. I am still very bearish on this whole situation, to be frank. Am I trading? Sure, but am I doing longer term swing trades? I'm still more hesitant. I've been doing some copy trades for you guys, and I've still been kind of cautious about doing any of those as well. I've only made a few trades, I think, so far, and they've turned out all profitable, but still, I want to be cautious on behalf of you guys. So what we're hoping for right now is a breakout that can take us back up here. And then from there, I expect a pretty hard withdrawal just at the same time as we're going to see the NASDAQ and the SPY and a whole bunch of these other guys moving back up to these levels of resistance and then also getting rejected back down. We've already seen this breakout right here. We had talked about this last week before I went off to Vegas. That breakout is happening. We should make another leg up here. And you've seen it on a whole bunch of individual stocks as well, not just your typical, SPY NASDAQ. You're seeing it on a whole bunch of stuff like Tesla right now. Tesla also had a breakout above that level of resistance, coming back up here to another one. And if it manages to break above that 200 daily moving average, as well as this level of resistance right here at 216, well, guess what? Then that next level of resistance right up here is 237. And I think Tesla can do that again before eventually getting our butts knocked back down here. Now, where I differ from a lot of other influencers out there, I would say, or other people that talk about technical analysis, I think a lot of people are expecting us to break out and just start going back up here. And this bearish system that we've been kind of in for the while, this is all over. This is the worst we're going to see, and we're going back off into the sunset, and everybody's going to be happy. I'm more of the bearish mentality that somewhere along the line here, we are going to get rejected, and that is going to bring us back down. Maybe not to all-time lows, even though that's my personal opinion. But for specific stuff like Tesla, I think we were probably going to come down a pretty heavy over the next few months, just because, again, if I go over here and look at something maybe more like a Nvidia, you can really see how crazy this has all been and how ludicrous this has all been right now. And at the same time, how we are all at a level of resistance, just like everything else. Now, if you guys are looking at other currencies out there like Ethereum and whatnot, we're already in that level of resistance right now. And I would say I would expect us to get back up here to 2000 and then get that rejection, because everything else is looking like we want to have that breakout here. Testing, testing, testing. If we can just get up there, I'm sure that we can break into the $2,000 range, and then from there, face our destiny and start coming back down here. And overall, guys, this would have been an amazing trade no matter where you guys would have bought. If you guys bought down here last year at the crazy times, or even over here during the FTX crash, or even over here when we had all those change of characters telling us to buy, or all those, bullish signals, whether it be Fibonacci levels, you name it. So, you guys have tons of opportunities to make some money here, but just be careful. I'm doing more day trades at this point. Even if you go over here to maybe a 1 hour chart on Ethereum, you guys can see that there's a clear level of resistance. And when we hit that level of resistance, most people are taking opportunities to do some easy shorts. Those shorts seem to be the best way to make some money right now. And of course, right now, you can see that there's already been some shorts, and we'll see if this continues to be a good way to make money, or if somehow on Monday we do actually manage to break out and we start heading back up to $2,000. I would say until we start off with the NASDAQ, I think we might be going a little bit more sideways here. But again, everything at this point, we talked about the breakouts before I went off to Vegas. Everything is breaking out, and we've been breaking out, I would say, for the past week or so. Now it's going to be time for us to face some resistance levels and see how much further we truly want to go. Thanks, everybody.